Jamal Porter had taken the same train home every night for years. It was routine. 9:45 p.m. from downtown, a half-hour ride, and then a short walk to his apartment. But tonight was different. He had been exhausted, lulled by the rhythmic clatter of the train against the tracks. His eyes drooped, and before he knew it, the world faded to black. When he woke up, the train was empty. Not just empty, abandoned. The lights flickered as the train slowed to a stop. Groggy, Jamal stood up and looked out the window. The platform outside was wrong. The station was ancient, the walls covered in yellowed posters for movies and brands that didn't exist. The tile was cracked, the overhead lights humming dimly. The station sign was rusted, barely legible. Sibyl Line Terminal. Jamal frowned. There was no Sibyl Line. Not in this city, not anywhere. The train doors hissed open and Jamal hesitated. He pulled out his phone. No signal. A low static buzzed from the train speakers. Final stop. All passengers must exit. Nah, man, Jamal muttered. He hit the emergency button. Nothing. He tried the doors. They wouldn't close. A cold draft rolled in from the platform. A voice called out, "You fell asleep, didn't you?" Jamal's stomach twisted. He turned, but the train was still empty. The voice came again, closer. They always do. He stepped onto the platform, glancing around. At first, it seemed like no one was there. But then, the shadows moved. Figures emerged from the dim corners. People dressed in out-of-time clothing. A man in a fedora, reading a newspaper from the 1940s. A woman in a sequined dress, hair curled in a style from the 60s. A teenage boy with a Walkman and a denim jacket. They all stared at him like he wasn't supposed to be there. Jamal took a step back. I must have gotten on the wrong train. I just need to get back to..." "No one gets back," the woman in the sequined dress whispered. "Not after midnight." The teenage boy tilted his head. "What year is it?" Jamal blinked. "It's 2025. The crowd reacted like he had said something horrifying. Some gasped, some shook their heads in disbelief. The man in the fedora lowered his paper, his hands trembling. "It was 1956 when I got on that train," he muttered. "I was supposed to meet my wife at home. I just fell asleep." Jamal took another step back. No way. This was a joke. Then the static came again. The overhead speakers crackled. "Departures resuming. Next train arriving." The shadows around the tracks shifted. Jamal turned just as another train pulled in. It was identical to the one he'd just left, but the windows were dark. Too dark, like the inside of the train was just empty space. The doors slid open. The people on the platform turned to him. "You should get on," the woman in the sequined dress whispered. "Why?" Jamal's voice was hoarse. Everything in him screamed not to. The teenager adjusted his Walkman. "Because if you don't, you'll end up like us, waiting." Jamal looked at the train, then at the people. His legs felt locked in place. If he got on, where would it take him? But if he stayed, would he ever leave? "You only have one chance," the woman in the sequined dress added. "Hopefully, the train gets here before midnight." Jamal's heart pounded as he glanced up. The station clock read 11:45 p.m. The next train arrived, its doors sliding open. He didn't hesitate. He jumped on. Arrival. The moment he crossed the threshold, the doors slammed shut. The train was silent. His breath came out shaky. No passengers, no conductor, just the darkened windows and his own reflection staring back at him. Then the train began to move, faster than it should. The world outside blurred. Stations zipped past. Stations he had never seen before. The signs were written in languages he didn't recognize. His phone buzzed. Jamal's shaking hands lifted it up. One new message. From unknown. "You woke up. That's rare. Stay awake this time." His pulse thundered. And then the train began to slow. Jamal looked out the window, and it looked like